So I think there's a role for Newcastle University and the private sector to work together. And like, I've had some thoughts about this, how we can really get these people that are coming out of uni to like want to stay in Newcastle, not just want to stay, but also have opportunity to stay. And I'm talking about like almost a natural selection process of the awesomest people to get the awesomest roles that they deserve. And I think it's an absolute win-win-win. So it's a win for the businesses, it's a win for the individuals, it's a win for the uni. And of course, there's like a fourth win, which is a win for the region, right? So this is the idea I've got. So firstly, university. You can identify people who are ambitious and that want to go and get roles in Newcastle. How do you do that? Well, you ask them. You don't have to get the teachers to play God and say, hey, that person's ambitious, that person's not. They might be really studious and just go home and study and get really high marks, right? We don't want the teacher to be the only person that decides. Of course, they can nominate people and tap them on the shoulder. But with the, the remote learning and that happens now, that's not going to work alone. You need to be bombarding the social media scene with like, there's a competition coming up. You have an opportunity to like get the ultimate role. It's like The Apprentice to an extent, except not just a TV show. We're talking about career here. The uni advertisers, up comes this campaign. Then these people basically put themselves into a pool, and that pool can be all different fields. It can be engineering, it can be like medical research, it can be like business, it can be law, it can be finance, and the arts and all of these. They all put themselves forward. And then there's got to be some kind of way that there's a competition where the great ones excel. Now they might tour businesses, they might check businesses out, they might actually be giving tasks and field studies. Someone's got to organise this. The uni are great at organising stuff, right? But they need the private sector to pitch in here too. So this is where we come involved. I would like to see the private sector put themselves forward and say, hey, if you guys put this comp on and you create some stars, right? And they pop out and they really are stars. We don't want to lose them to Sydney. Like as an area, we don't want to. The uni doesn't want to. No one wants to. We want the success stories right here. We'll create roles for these people because they're stars, right? We're saving on recruitment fees. We're stopping them going to the big smoke. We're picking them early. So it's like the college draft pick. Like the basketballs just happen. They're playing in college. They're good. They get out and then they have the first round draft pick. Now the employees are going to get together. And to some extent, there's going to be some sort of competition and rivalry. So the employers have got to say, like on Shark Tank and the other shows, hey, you come here, your personality would suit really well. We can see a leadership role evolving for you. It's not just empty promises, it's got to be laid out. So I think there needs to be kind of like a body of peers, not necessarily government, but there's got to be a body that comes in and assesses businesses, like, will this business qualify to be in this like apprentice sort of draft pick show? Do they have career progression? Do they have growth plans? Do they include Newcastle? Are there leadership development opportunities here? Are there new sectors opening up within the business? Is the sector growing or shrinking? So they're all things that would get you your hat in the ring. And I think if we had something like that, that would just make it so much more exciting for people to consider Newcastle. And you know what? The people who don't win, they're still going to be so much more head ready, and they're going to have seen other employees in the area and gone, damn, I missed it with that one, but I'd like to keep coming in the side door and networking my way in, or go and work at their competitor and create, basically a whole better business community. So that's the concept I've got for how university and businesses can work together. So I suppose there's a call to action for all this, right? So if we want to make this public-private partnership work together with university and private businesses, we need to get businesses out here. I'm calling out to other businesses, right? You need to put yourself forward and say, hey, I'm up for this. Then the uni's going to notice that, okay? So this is where like HYP can help. HYP is saying, hey, we want to keep people in Newcastle. You've been talking about this for ages. Government, council, private businesses have all been talking about this for ages. How do we keep people in Newcastle? Well, this is where we start. We run this comp. I've given some ideas, like I'm not writing the rule book right now, but it's just some ideas. You get a little panel together. We get some sort of thought leaders in the group. We get, maybe some feedback from teachers, maybe some feedback from students, like what kind of comp are we going to run here? How do we get them to pop out the top? What sort of roles do we have to offer afterwards? Do we start the roles like before they've left? So it's sort of like the internship, cadetship. Do we start at the moment they've left? Do they get to work in a place for a period of time, actually perform some tasks that add value to the business as well as add value to the individuals? But it's got to start somewhere. So we need businesses first to put their hands up, like some big accountancy firms, some big law firms. Think about all the other different firms out there that are recruiting on a regular basis. let's put your names out there. If you're in the food business, if you're expanding and franchising, like, you know, and you need leaders and you need managers and you need people that understand all the great skills that are coming out right now, engineering firms. That's the call to action. I think HYP can help with this. They can raise awareness. They can lobby the uni. Now, hopefully the uni are just real proactive and they just go, bang, we're onto this. And then, you know, you need the field of applicants. You need the private businesses. So I'd like to definitely put the call out. And then the moment you have your first sort of roundup and we talk about making this a reality, then yeah, I'm keen to have some input. So let's make it happen.
Boy, I got a lot of problems with you. I am about to get you.